This video is a demonstration of the TaiQi Yang style push hands form, a two-person form involving contact between two individuals in a repeated circular pattern, illustrating the four energetic Chinese concepts of Peng, Lu, Ji, and An. Peng is a ward-off form. It's a forward-directed form, moving the energy forward. It can also be done backward, but the projection of the arm through the body and the hip down to the back foot is always there. Lu, or rollback, is more of a defensive movement. It's a pulling back away from the partner, sometimes grabbing the partner, sometimes open hand, moving backward away from the partner. Ji is a forward movement involving the hands moving towards the partner's chest, cupping a Tai Chi ball of energy as they move forward, and then compressing that ball as they make contact into the partner. An is another forward moving energy coming from the hips, both hands driving upward into the opponent or partner's chest and shoulders. Again, anchoring the energy down through the body, through the hips, and down the back leg, that are shown this way. So the energy is coming here and then down the leg into the ground. So one more time: Peng, ward off; Lu, roll back; Ji, press; An, push. And now we're going to try to demonstrate how those four energies, represented by four movements in the Tai Chi Yang style form, can be illustrated and used in the two-person push hands form. So the partner will approach, and the general rule in two-person form is that the same leg goes forward. So my left leg and her left leg. That brings us into a closer format where we can make contact and be in each other's space. If we have opposite feet, then we're too far apart and we cannot make adequate contact. So by making the legs the same, left and right, left and left, foot forward, we can get closer. Now, generally, the arm that is the same as the front leg, in my case the left arm, left leg, left arm, will be raised up in front of the body, making the Ji form. This is one half of the Ji or press form. The other half would be to take the back hand and put it here on top of the forward facing front hand. But here we're going to just leave the hand down near the hip, protecting the groin area, and we're going to use just the one half of the Ji or press form to make circles with our hips and shoulders, anchoring the arm or elbow onto the hip in a circular manner. Now, it's very important for push hands that the body actually move. So the shoulders and the hips move together in a circular manner. So if this were not happening, it would look like this. Just the arm is moving in a circle. And in this format, there's no power. Whereas if we are connected, if the arm, the elbow, is connected to the body, and the body is connected to the hips, and the hips are connected to the legs, then the whole body moves together. And the energy comes through the whole body and is much stronger. So the purpose of the one hand push hands form is just to acquaint the beginner with the movement of the form. Moving in a circle, following each other's energy. The goal is not to let contact between the hands separate. So at no time do the hands separate. The hands always stay together. And the two partners follow each other, making the circle. And the key to the effective push hands technique is that as I drive forward into my partner, she rotates her shoulders and hips away so that my arm passes away past her body. And there's nothing that I can do. She has rerouted my energy away from her. Now, as she comes back towards me, making her own circle, I do the same thing. I rotate my hips and shoulders so that her energy passes by me. So she's making G, but she's also making Peng, because at this point the hand is in G position, but at this point the hand turns and then becomes Peng. So we're illustrating both G and Peng here as we're moving the body forward and backward in this circular movement. Peng and G. Now, when we introduce the second hand, that is where we're going to introduce An, or the press form. The second hand comes in where, as a partner presses into me with her G, I take her arm as it becomes Peng, and I intercept the elbow with my second hand. At this point, we're back with An. So she is doing An, and I am doing An. But at the same time she's doing An, I'm also doing Peng and G. So this is my Peng, this is my G, this is my An. Now, the one form I haven't, or energy I have not spoken yet about, is the Lu energy. Every time that you go backwards in Tai Chi, away from the opponent, is essentially Lu. So here, I'm doing Lu as I come back away from her. She's following me with An, and then I'm following her with An, while she does Lu. So really, what's happening is, I guess I'll just speak about my energy right now. This would be Lu. This would be G. This would be An. And then this would be Peng. So An, G, Lu. I'm sorry. Lu, G, An, Peng. Lu, G, An, Peng. Lu, G, An, Peng. So all four energies are in place, making a circle of energy. And she is doing the exact same thing, just the opposite of me. So when I'm doing Peng, she is doing An. When I'm doing Lu, she continues to do An. And at this point, I transition to G, and she is also doing G for a moment. Then when I come here for my An, she's starting her Lu. So now she's doing An, then she's doing G, then she's doing Lu, G, then she's Peng right here, then she's Lu, then G. So here she's An, then here she's G, then Lu, An, Ji, Lu. But she's also got a Peng in there. Li, and then Peng follows. Peng is where the elbow comes around, and that's where I intercept with An. If she doesn't follow the wrist with the elbow, and she's just making wrist, that's just Ji. But as she circles towards me, if she brings the elbow out and around toward me, as if to strike me, then I take the hand up and catch the elbow, and I make An as I go forward with her energy. So she's doing Ji, then Peng, then she's doing Lu as she moves back away from me, and then intercepting me here, she does An. So that's what I'm doing. An, then Lu, then, Lu is here, then Ji is here, then An, and then Peng as I move my elbow into her. She's rotating the chest away so that I cannot contact her, and then I'm rotating my chest away. In terms of a guideline of how much the hips and chest should move, it's about a 90-degree turn. So at this point, I'm facing 10 o'clock on the clock. Then here is 12 o'clock, and then here is 2 o'clock. So I'm going from 45 degrees this angle to 45 degrees that angle, which is a 90-degree turn. If you don't turn the full 90 degrees, what will happen is she will drive herself into me, and I will be driven backward if I cannot get out of the way. Same with her. If she doesn't get out of the way, I'm going to drive her backward. So we have to get back out of the way. Now, another thing that's important in Tai Chi, two-hand practice, is when we practice one side, we need to practice the other. So we stop, we change legs, we put up the other hand. In this case, the right leg is forward, the right arm is up, the left arm is down, protecting the groin and hip area, and we continue our circles. We start with single hand push hands just to get the flow and the energy of each other. And then when we feel comfortable, we begin two hands. So she has to make sure she drives the wrist, the back of the hand, which is Ji, into me, and then she drives the Peng, or the forearm, elbow, into me. And that's when I know to take on, intercept, and drive her forward, push hands, or on. At which point she takes my elbow, intercepts me, and drives me back. So we're doing the exact same thing, but we're doing it in the reverse direction. Both of us are being careful to keep the knees bent, to keep the posture low and rooted into the ground, to keep the upper body straight so we're not leaning forward into each other. We're also not leaning backwards. And we're rotating the hips and the shoulders in a circular motion. And if we don't, then we lose our balance. So we have to remember to always circle the hips and the shoulders. And that is Tai Chi Yang style push hands form, two-person, illustrating the four energies of Peng, ward off, Lu, roll back, Ji, press, and An, push.